Welcome, Christina. Welcome to your time in the spotlight this month. I'm so excited to feature you. So let's just jump in. Tell us a little bit about what you do here at Elantis and what your role currently is.
So currently I am lead of the project management office, basically project manager, but also filling the role of solution architect. So a bit cross-functional.
Great. And so how long have you been with Elantis now?
About a year and a half. So not a long time. That said, I did work on contract with Elantis and with Dave in particular for almost a decade. So Elantis wasn't new to me when I started here, which made it feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah, for sure. So what first sparked your interest in technology, and how, like, can you describe when you realized that this was a field that you knew you wanted to get into?
Sure. I'm not sure that I had one spark. I think it was probably a series of sparks. I actually was educated originally as a paralegal, working in law firms, and found I had a knack for IT. So I kind of became, the IT go-to person. And in consulting, that carries over and translates. So I went from working as a paralegal in law firms to coming into a finance consulting firm, very small one, and realized that there was a large demand in the industry for enterprise content management. The other thing I realized is that, between law firms, consulting, finance, there was a lot of enterprise content management gone wrong that I was seeing. A lot of investment, a lot of, I think, commitment by clients to pursue technologies. And there were many companies trying to deliver ECM that weren't understanding the need of clients for systems to be efficient and effective. I realized that value had to be part of our delivery if this industry was going to succeed. And so what really sparked my direction into ECM was just wanting to drive the industry towards more of a value proposition. Clients were entrusting us and working with us to understand their most valuable business asset, information and content. And yet we weren't putting the importance on it that I felt like we should. So I shifted from paralegal practices into more of an IT support, more of an IT consulting role, and then really truly fell in love with project management as kind of the driving force towards that value. So oftentimes project managers who are a little bit more rigored, a little bit more structured say I'm gold plating, but I'm really careful not to cross that line. I look at it as benefits realization. Sorry, Andrea, as I lose my voice. I look at it as benefits realization, and rather than just delivering scope, budget, timeline, we really are there to meet the needs of our clients.
Excellent. So you've had quite a journey and some career shifts along the way. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. So you mentioned that you knew Dave, the CEO, for some time before coming to Elantis. Was that what sparked your interest in Elantis, or was there something else that attracted you here?
So I actually came from running my own company, very similar to Elantis, but in a slightly different space, a little bit more compliance driven, sort of legislatively mandated. Our work was a little bit more security oriented. And so from running my own company, I started working at KPMG, looking for stability and flexibility, and really fell in love with the people that I was working with there. Struck up my own team and practice, focused on enterprise content management, and placing a high importance on delivering ECM with expertise, top quality, and integrity in mind. As I started branching out and looking for a career shift or a company shift, what was really important to me wasn't being with a high-profile firm. It was being with a small team that could be agile, could be, high performance, and, really loved working with each other. And I knew that that was the culture here at Elantis. When I started here, I knew 4 to 5 other people who worked here, a couple of contractors that worked here, and the culture is what drew me in for sure. Knowing Dave on top of that was almost a reinforcement. And then once I did my first initial interview with Amy and Dave, I think I was sold. So a number of different reasons to come here, but really it was the integrity and delivery that drew me in.
Excellent. And obviously the ability for you to apply your varied skill sets to the role that you have, and have that opportunity to grow and expand and really make an impact on a smaller company like this too, right?
Definitely. And I think, I knew from the time that I started at KPMG, having kind of left my smaller consulting company behind, that I did really want to come back to, mid-sized consulting, where you can kind of be what you want to be, right? It sounds fluffy, for lack of a better word. But I'm able to work here. I'm able to be flexible in building my skills and working with the team without all the stress of ownership, without the stress that comes with, financial management and all of those things. I love it. I love the fact that I can drive high performance teams without, the day-to-day stress of running a business or running a practice, and sharing that responsibility with people who want to participate, want to contribute. I find that that's just irreplaceable. So Elantis gives me that, which is really, really important.
Absolutely. And it's, where you're carving your own path, really making it your own. So that's great to hear that that's been your experience so far. So what do you wake up looking forward to most every day?
So I'm going to be brutally honest, chocolate and puppies.
Do we have that
That's
here?
always going to be my answer. So yeah, chocolate and puppies. That said, I absolutely love everything about my job. I don't love everything every day, for sure. I'm not going to lie. But I do think that, we wake up and we create our own success. Many people I work with know that I log in very early. I like that 1 hour of just extremely high performance and productivity in the morning. That excites me. As long as that hour goes well, then I'm kind of set off on a really positive day. So yeah, chocolate, puppies, and an hour of planning.
So now I know you're a morning person. That's great.
I am. Yeah, definitely am.
So what would you say, if you had to name one thing, what are you most passionate about in your career path so far?
Oh, great question. I don't know that was on our pre-prepared list, Andrea. I'm just joking. Honestly, learning. I have always been a lifelong learner. I think I'm going to continue down that path regardless of where my career takes me. I always joke because a lot of people feel they drive their career. I think I've always followed my heart, and kind of, pursued the things that felt right. So there's a number of things that I've been passionate about over the years, but the reality for me is just finding that sweet spot where a team gels and becomes, high performing, effective. They're just in tune to each other. I think creating that win is what really drives me. That said, I can get there a number of different ways, is what I've realized through my career. And that's been, I think, my differentiator, is looking at other ways that we can arrive at that sweet spot, at that good destination. I also am extremely passionate about women in technology. So that's one of the things that I hope that we can drive out and build here at Elantis, but also, in my life generally. I try and strive to be a good example to other women in technology, letting them know that it's okay to have a family, that it's okay to have a career, and it's okay to be just astoundingly awesome at both. I'm not always there. There are challenging days, but I think, having women to look up to in technology is becoming a challenge out there. So if I can drive that, if I can drive, women in IT is becoming more women in data, that kind of initiative, then that really kind of just sets my passion afire.
Well, and I love that you are paving that way for future women in tech to follow your path. It's such a great way to give back and to really make an impact on the industry. So is there anyone in particular or a few women in technology who you look up to or follow that might be of interest to others?
Definitely. So my past history, I've had a lot of really good mentors that I've been able to work with. I've also had people who've taught me what not to do. So I think that's important as well. Letting me know that it's okay to set boundaries and to really, follow the things that you love. I think that's important. I also do a lot of reading. I love a book called Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg. She's not in IT, but the book is fantastic. There's also a couple of others. Pivot by Jenny Blake, Girls Who Code. Actually bought it for my daughter years and years ago, and found that I actually really enjoyed it. So, when it comes to mentoring and kind of those examples, I have a few. I also look to the people that I work with. So, Kira here at Elantis, Rhea, we've worked with previous. They're just fantastic women in general. And so to use their example going forward in my career is critical for me. I want to take and learn, from whoever I can. I think at this point, their outlook, their perspective on just positive contribution is critical. I think we all need to see examples of that as we move out of COVID days into, a more productive work environment. So, I would like to be Kira one day when I grow up.
And I'm sure she would love to hear you say that. And isn't it amazing, though, that we are surrounded by such amazing women in this field and can lift each other up, support each other, and know that we always have each other's backs and be examples for those to come, right? So, so congratulations on that. So you mentioned your passion of lifelong learning. You gave us a few book ideas, which I so appreciate. I always love a good book recommendation. So thanks for that, Christina. I have one more question for you. What is next for you in your career?
Oh, great question. I always joke that I'm not grown up yet. So I think there's probably a couple of different answers that could come into that. In all honesty, I want to find that sweet spot. I want to create that high-performing team that we can just be proud of here at Elantis, that delivers everything regardless of the scope, regardless of the challenges. I think we're very, very close to that. That said, I don't know, in all honesty, what's next for me. I think for a long time I've realized that I want to grow up to be a project manager, but there's a process in that and a path that needs to be followed. And I think just following my heart is a big part of that for me.
Very intuitive. That's so great. Well, thank you so much for your thoughtful and inspiring responses, Christina. It's been so great to spend this time with you. And I hope you enjoy this time in the spotlight. Thank you so much.
Really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.